Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie and we are going to dive into your 3 o'clock tasting and a keto tip. Now I will say this. Yesterday I promised I would be on at 2 o'clock and then I had to be adaptable with my time. So if you listen to the morning mindset, if you're on the morning mindset live, I talked all about being adaptable. I talked about AQ. Yesterday we talked about EQ. I asked all of your questions. I'm like, ask me questions. I'll come on at 2 o'clock. And then, you know what's so interesting is when you're focused on something, right? When you are aware, and I was coaching on AQ, which is adaptability today, I have had to be very adaptable today. It's kind of like when somebody says, man, I've been praying for patience, and I always laugh when somebody says that to me, and I'll say, oh, if you're praying for patience, you're going to have a lot of things that show up in your life that you're going to have to learn to be patient with, so you better stop. Jokingly, but for real. And so today was an adaptability day. My schedule really did not look like anything in my mind, and that's okay. And I say all of that because you asked a ton of incredible questions yesterday, and I don't think I can get through all of them. We have our very last day of volleyball today for this fall season. Yesterday was our last day for our 7th grader. Our freshman is done today, so we have to leave in 20 minutes. So I'm going to shoot with a handful of questions, and I'll come back on tomorrow and finish the questions. I say all of that as I am shaking up my mom fuel like I do every single afternoon. I'm shaking up Maui Punch. And I actually had, you know what I'm going to do? I actually had a lot of questions just on ketones. So what I'll do right now is I'm going to go through a couple of the keto questions that you had on the diet and just the lifestyle in general. And tomorrow I'll do all the questions based on the product and then some other questions if you have more. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? How is your afternoon? We took the kids to the park for just a little bit to get some fresh air because today is supposed to be our last 70-degree day. Tomorrow it's going to be 50 and like down into the 40s by the end of the weekend. It's going to be cold. All right, so I'm shaking up my mom fuel. You're going to hear a lot more about so for those who asked questions, all of you who asked questions yesterday, it will all be about mainly ketones, and any other questions that you have as you're watching, post them below. So I'll hit all those tomorrow. Shaking up my incredible Maui Punch, which I love. So good. So if you want to know why I drink this, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Otherwise, post 5 in the comments and we'll chat at the very end if I have some time. All right, are you ready? Q&A from yesterday. I did write a lot of the ketone. Okay, number 1 question. The first question that I saw was, does artificial sweeteners, I think artificial, I think like, let me think, aspartame, right? Would be considered an artificial sweetener. So the question was phrased like, do artificial sweeteners affect weight loss? And so I would say whether it is something like aspartame or Splenda or even stevia, a lot of those artificial sweeteners are in, let's say, keto snacks. Let me rephrase that. Even the keto artificial sweeteners, meaning even the low carb, sugar replacements, stevia, erythritol, I'm guessing that was probably more of the question, does that affect fat loss? And I'm going to say if you're constantly I'm going to show you. If you're constantly snacking on stuff like this, it's like a keto bar, right? Low carb bar. This should not be an everyday, all the time snack. If you're eating like the keto Doritos, like Costco has a brand of chips that taste like Doritos, but they're low carb brand. They're made out of almond flour. If you're eating let's say you're eating a whole bunch of keto cereal in the morning, and then you're having the keto crackers, and then you're having everything still in a box and in a bag, then this will still affect your fat loss. So it is important to eat your proteins and your salads and your veggies, and if everything that you're eating is prepackaged, even though it has stevia and erythritol and they might go, but it's keto and it doesn't raise your insulin, it is going to affect the way that your body loses fat. So yes. So if you feel like you've reached a stall, make sure you're not eating a whole bunch of these all the time. Does that part make sense? And so Yes. And yes, somebody says, if you have questions, please ask the questions below. And I'll come back and we'll have a second day tomorrow. All right, next question. I did not write my handwriting isn't very good. Kid food ideas. So here's how we did it with our kids. I do not label foods mom's foods, or this is dad's foods, or mom's on a diet. I don't say any of that. So our kids eat what we eat. We basically make one meal, right? Or one for the most part. And so for those of you who are like trying to get your kids to eat better, the first thing is to get some of the junk out of the house, right? You don't need it. There's plenty of birthday parties. There's plenty of places to get the treats. Now, I would say start with simple things like, what are your kids drinking? And your kids don't have to be keto. You don't have to go, oh, my kids are on the keto diet or the low carb diet. No, your goal is as a parent to feed your kids better options and to teach them how to understand how their body is feeling. If you can do that right now and teach your kids right now to pay attention to that, you're going to set them up for success in the future. So as far as your kids go, we always have water bottles all over our home. If you walk in our house, there's no shortage of cups and water bottles and shaker bottles with water or sparkling water in them. We don't keep juice or pop or anything in the home. My kids can have water. They can choose to drink ketones, or they can choose to drink sparkling water. That's what they get. And so I think if you just eliminate, oh my goodness, the sun went down. Did you see that whole shift in the camera? Funny. So if you can just eliminate, number one, let's cut back on how much sugar we're drinking. Let's drink more water. And then the snacks that you have in your home. Like, they don't need to be snacking on Debbie snacks. That's what I used to eat all the time. They don't need ice cream every night before bed. They don't need fresh cookies after every dinner. I'm kind of joking and not really, right? And so if your kids are hungry, if my kids are hungry and at night, Annie's our littlest, she'll often go, oh, I want a snack. And I'm like, go grab some nuts. Go grab some almonds or a pickle. I don't want that. That's your option. Or go grab a cheese stick. And so you have to kind of set a precedence if you want your kids to eat better and make better choices. Some things have to get out of the home. Maybe it's like every time you go to grandma's, you get to have that. And make sure you've got better snack options. I used to physically write down what the snacks were that they could have on a piece of paper. I put it on the refrigerator and I was like, snacks. If you're hungry, grab some almonds, grab a beef stick, grab some cheese stick, grab a pickle, grab a hard-boiled egg. Now, today, not 6 years ago, there's different keto snacks and low-carb snacks. So just be aware, make better choices, and your kids don't need to mindlessly eat all day long, right? And then as far as meals go, if they don't like something, like we eat very basic. We like to grill out, we have tacos, most meals can be versatile. So if you're eating better and you don't care that they have the chips, you have the low-carb wrap. Does that make sense? So my kids are not on a diet. We just try to help them eat better and pay attention to how much, like, eat when you're hungry. Are you snacking because you're bored, or you really need a snack? If you need a snack, great. If you don't, why don't you drink some water and go play? So it's just helping them be mindful. I should probably cross these off so that I know which one. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? And then as we're asking questions, I'm going to do another one tomorrow, but ask your questions below and I'll make sure to come back to them. I'm going to do all the keto questions tomorrow unless I get to them by the end of later today. Okay, somebody asked, how do I stop eating? After I'm done fasting, I'm so hungry. And I want to make sure I answer all of the questions for sure. I would just say maybe a couple of things. Oftentimes people go, man, I just need to stop. We've talked about portions before. Dish up less food, right? Grab one snack. Measure out your almonds. Just be aware of it. Use smaller plates. How do you stop eating? You don't go get seconds. Part of it has to do with discipline. You can't have a secret for everything. You have to draw a line in the sand and go, I'm not going to have any more. I'm not hungry. I've got bigger goals. I've got a big enough why. I am going to make the habits different, right? All right, next one. Oh, this is a good question. Do I have to be careful when I'm putting my body into ketosis? And so here's what I want you to know. The ketogenic diet started for medical reasons. If you don't know the story behind it, you can go Google it. You can understand where the ketogenic diet started. Then they realized that ketones actually help with so many different things. If you don't know, when you're doing a keto diet, meaning 80% fat, 5% carbs, so basically under 20 carbs a day, you're very, very strict. You're not going to have any of these, right? You're really monitoring your food. You're monitoring your ketones. You're only drinking water. I mean, a low-carb diet is not a keto diet. A lazy, dirty keto, however you want to say it, isn't a true, strict ketogenic diet. And that's done for a specific reason, right? And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of people that go, I'm keto, but they're actually not. Or, hey, my body's in ketosis, and it actually isn't. And, hey, my doctor told me it's bad to do the keto diet, and I'll say, let me know if you actually track your ketones and you're in ketosis for longer than a couple days. Because when you're doing the diet, and everybody's different. Some people can get their body to make ketones quickly. Some people cannot. And so what I want you to know is it dangerous? Not done if it's not if it's done properly. And so the actual keto diet you need to make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. And then the girl had said, well, I have leg cramps at night. Charlie horses is what she said. And so when you're actually doing the diet, you need to make sure that you are drinking plenty of water, and you need to make sure you have electrolytes. If you're getting Charlie horses or you're getting lightheaded, you just kind of feel off, you need electrolytes. Your body's actually flushing all of your electrolytes out when it's in ketosis. So oftentimes I'll have like a little electrolyte packet, and people are like, why are you drinking those? Well, because I don't want to get Charlie horses, especially when I'm traveling. And so, but if you're low carb, if you say I'm lazy keto or I'm dirty keto, all of that is just fine. It's completely fine. And you're still going to see fat loss from that, right? You're making better choices. Pickle juice. Yes, Tabitha, it's a great electrolyte. So is it bad to be in ketosis? No. Through a diet, and not like I drink ketones every day. I've got ketones in my system every day. These are water soluble. So if my body doesn't use them, it gets rid of them. If my body's making ketones, that's even better, right? But sometimes I'm low carb. I actually probably eat too much protein. And so if my body's not making its own ketones, I'm fine. If it is, you need to be most likely having electrolytes and plenty of water. Does that answer? I hope that answers your question. And I can always come back to more of that later. So ketosis isn't bad. It's actually incredible. It helps with your energy. It helps with your mindset. Your brain prefers ketones. It helps with clarity and fat loss and focus and so many benefits. That's why I drink them. And your body can make them, right? Both. All right. Next question was hair loss. Here's the deal. I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist by paper, or I did not go to school for this. I've been studying it. We've gotten the opportunity to sit with other doctors and scientists over the last 6.5 years. So I listen and I study and I read and I learn. Here's a really great book. If some of you want to learn some more, this answers a lot of medical questions. I cannot answer medical questions. And even some of these, you might be going, how does she know that? I've just heard them say it. I've heard Dr. Ryan Lowery, who I've gotten to learn from, and Dr. Jacob Wilson, who wrote this book. And they actually also formulated and created this. I've gotten to meet with them, and my husband and I have gotten to go out to dinner with them, and we've got to ask questions, and I've got to do interviews. They are incredible, very knowledgeable. So I learned from them, and I get to teach you, but I will not answer medical questions because I'm not a doctor. If you want a really great resource, this is an incredible resource. Not only do they have great recipes, but they actually talk to you about so many different things, and they talk about ketones. So it's a great, great book. You can grab it on Amazon, I'm sure, Barnes & Noble, probably any bookstore. I'm sure they would have it. And so the question, I actually get a lot of people that ask me about hair loss. Here's the deal. Again, I'm not a doctor. And so what I learned from Dr. Ryan was a lot of women may experience it because they're not eating enough protein. And I feel like you can't see my face, so ignore my wet hair. I'm going to flip my hat around. So hair loss could be a lack of protein. And when you're doing a keto diet, you're not eating as much protein. That's why I actually eat a lot of protein. I prefer to eat protein. My body might not be making ketones, but I'm drinking them and I feel great. Does that make sense? So as women, you might have to talk to your doctor. You might have to get your hormones checked, try upping your protein and see if that helps. So that is all I have for answers on hair loss. See if that's helpful. All right, have I ever done an egg fast? I got questions about, can I do an egg fast? You can for sure go Google it. I've never done an egg fast. I think it's like a 3-day, only eat eggs for every single meal. That does not sound fun to me. I have a different fast or a reboot that I have done many times, this one. And so has any of you done an egg fast? Did you like it? I feel like most of the time when somebody says, I've done an egg fast before, now I hate eggs, I feel like you're just asking to not like eggs, and I don't want to not like them. So if you want to, go for it. I've seen lots of people that have done it. There's lots of information you can go look it up, but I've never done it, and I don't want to do it. Does not sound fun to me. Okay, question. How do I stay on track on the weekends? Good question. It just depends on your goals, right? And do you mean on track? Like, do you not ever want to have a cheat day or a cheat meal? I would just say it just depends on if you are cooking or if you're going out. It's having an awareness of what you're eating. So if you're at a party, usually they have a veggie tray. Usually there's a salad. I don't think it really comes down to not having the right choices, because at every restaurant that you go to, most likely when people are hosting you, they have some type of healthy option, or you're making it in your home. So it really isn't the lack of a healthier option. It is the lack of the discipline and wanting to eat the sugar. I am guilty of it. All of us are guilty of it. When you go to the birthday party and you want to have the cake I get it. And so just know this. I don't even want to say mess up. Let's say one decision, because it's not, my nose is really tickly right now. I don't want to say a mess up. One decision, because it's all decisions, right? You could say a good decision or a bad decision. You could say a decision or a choice that helps me on my journey versus hinders me on my journey. Every choice is just that. It's a choice. So it's not that you don't have an option to choose better on the weekends, right? I feel like during the week, you might feel like you're more structured. You're either at home working, you're at the office working, you've got I pack my lunch, or I go out here, I take the buns off, I do all of these things. I do really great until Friday night. And then the weekend comes. Same choices. If you go on a date, you can get a salad and a protein. If you go to a birthday party, eat the salad and don't eat the bun on the burger. Don't be snacking. Don't go through the drive-thru every Saturday to get the donuts. It's the same thing, same choices. You just have to be more aware of it, right? And know this, if you make a choice that maybe doesn't align with your goals, then you just have to get back on track. Don't fall into the spiral out of control. I made the bad choice and now I'm just going to do it for the rest of the weekend because I already screwed up on Friday night. So then Saturday comes and I'm like, well, I already screwed up. So it's just the weekend, right? Because what happens is a one choice, which is fine, and you get back on track because it becomes a lifestyle, right? One choice turns into like the weekend, and then to a week, and then to a month, and then to a year, and then you're back around the circle, and then you're back up 30 more pounds, and then you've got to get back on track, right? That's why ketones are great, because I tell people, this isn't a magic pill, but let's say that I had pizza last night. Then today, I would still get up, I would still do my workout. I would still drink my water. I would still do the things I always do. I would still drink my ketones. This is going to help with my craving control because my body's going, oh, you ate pizza. You ate a whole bunch of grease. Maybe I'm going to feel like garbage, or maybe I'm going to kickstart something in my body where I'm like, I want more greasy food. I'm going to have my cravings under control. I'm going to feel great, and I'm going to keep going, right? So it's a mindset. It's a choice, weekday and weekend. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm going to have to get going, and I'll come back on tomorrow and do some more. How to meal prep. How do I meal prep? I talk about this usually on Sundays. Pick a day of the week. What works for you? It doesn't have to be on Sunday. I just pick Sunday because it's usually the day that works. And go through your refrigerator. What do you have? Take inventory. Sit down. What meals do you want for that week? Go to the grocery store. Come home and actually prep the meat and the meals that you need. So if you like to have all of the meat already cooked up for your 5 days going to work. You've already got it in containers. Do it. Pick the day that works for you. And all you have to do is set aside a little bit of time, plan out your meals, go to the grocery store, come home, put it in your refrigerator, bring it to work, prep the food so that you're ready to go. That's it. You just have to take a little bit of mindful time to plan and prepare. Okay, I think we have time for one more. Oh, building muscle. That's so funny that, how do you build muscle? I wish I could tell you this is exactly how you build muscle. I'll tell you what I have been taught, because I actually have asked, I send Dr. Ryan, well, I have in the past, I've sent him many messages and I'll say, okay, I want to build some muscle. I'm ready to get super strong, because he works with a lot of athletes and the keto diet and different, he talks about like cyclical keto and all of the different types of keto. And what he has said to me in the past is most people that truly want to build muscle need to eat more protein. So for those who are asking, and they need to eat more food. Things have to be tracked a certain way. I don't track my food anymore. I know what's going to make me feel like garbage and what I can eat and what I shouldn't eat. But in order to truly build muscle, how I understand it is you have to be eating a lot of food, but it's not just like lifting my 10-pound baby weights. I still lift baby weights. It's going to be pushing yourself in the gym, moving up on the weights. I don't love to sweat. I know that sounds weird. Do I love to lift weights? Yes. I really hate to sweat. Such a problem. But I don't push myself enough in the gym to gain the muscle that I want. I don't eat enough of the right foods to gain the muscle that I want. I eat more protein. I know it's great for athletes. Do I think of myself an athlete? I think of myself as a mom athlete. I like to work out, and in my head, someday I'm going to have really incredible arms when I decide to do the work. I don't know if I'll ever do the work, but in my head, I see them, I'm visualizing them, and we'll see what happens. So I do know that. Here's what I know. You need to eat more food if your goal is to put on some serious muscle. Oh man, it's so funny. I know, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, a lot of the questions that I had were based on ketones, tracking ketones. I know I missed a lot of questions, so I'll make sure to go back over tomorrow. I'll write some more questions down. If you have any keto questions that I did not cover, ask them below. I also have like 7 more that I did not cover, but I do have to get going because we have to drive for an hour and 15 minutes to get to our very last volleyball game. So we have to hit the road. So I hope that was somewhat helpful. And any questions that you have, please reach out, ask away, send me a private message. If you're looking for recipes, somebody said, where do I find some recipes? We always share recipes on the page. Otherwise, go to Keto Mom Secrets, all one word, ketomomsecrets.com. Lots of recipes there, so you can check that out. And then I did have somebody ask about the reboot. We end tomorrow. And so a good meal to end on your reboot tomorrow is you're going to drink your protein, which I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. I got a lot of questions about what the protein is. But then have something simple like sausage or eggs or a little bit of avocado or an omelet. You're going to find after fasting for 60 hours, you're not going to be able to eat nearly as much. So you'll get full faster. So drink your water, drink your protein, and then I usually would have eggs or sausage. Something super simple. So with that, for those who are doing the reboot, you're almost done. We are done tomorrow. If you want to know more about the reboot, post a reboot in the comments. We have a 24 and a 60 that we can chat about. It's really great. And then I will come back on tomorrow. I'm not even going to say a time because I'm very adaptable. I'm working on my AQ. I'm helping you work on your AQ by me not always being on at the exact time. I really am hoping to help you be adaptable. That's just me covering up for me being late. Okay, I hope you guys have an incredible day. I'm going to drink my incredible mom fuel, which if you want to know more, post 5 in the comments and we're going to chat. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Your presence matters. I love when you ask questions. It gives me things to talk about. And I love seeing all of your names come up because a lot of you are super consistent. And so I feel like I should know you, like you're my friends. I hope that you're not offended by that. So have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.